The room is filled with tension as a scepter lies on the ground, stained with blood. A voice commands that someone must not die, emphasizing the urgency of the situation. King fervently argues that the survival of an important individual is crucial for the destiny of the Siland Empire. His desperation suggests that their death would have catastrophic consequences. Ramsay kneels on the floor, lamenting that medicine has scarcely kept the princess alive after she contracted the plague. He urges the king and his family to see her one last time, hinting that her condition is dire. Ansel, Jess, and Mela stand in a richly decorated hall. Ansel urges his father and others to visit Sonia quickly, as time seems to be running out. Ansel and King look up at a tall, isolated tower under the night sky. Ansel expresses a longing for Sonia not to leave him, reinforcing the weight of the situation. Rainbow appears at the door, asking if the visitors have come to see the princess. She offers to guide them, indicating the solemn nature of their visit. King approaches Sonia's room, softly telling her that he has come to see her. His presence carries a sense of gravity and care. Sonia lies in bed, expressing pain and exhaustion. She wishes she could sing for her father, but is too weak, revealing her vulnerability. King tenderly reassures Sonia, promising her that her pain will soon cease. His words are filled with comfort and fatherly love. Sonia questions whether her impending death will end her suffering. Her query echoes the severity of her illness and the emotional turmoil around her. Jesse insists that Sonia is essential for the survival of the Siland Empire, urging her not to lose hope. His conviction indicates her critical role. Mela stands by calmly, assuring Sonia that she will be cured. He expresses a wish to hear her sing again, showing familial affection and hope. Dr. Lauren gently inquires if Sonia wishes to convey any messages to her family, indicating the gravity of her situation and their roles in her life. Sonia speaks of her fatigue and desire to sing one last song in the garden, highlighting her enduring spirit and connection to life despite her condition. With outstretched hands, Sonia silently prays, expressing her earnest desire to live. Her plea underscores the deep conflict between mortality and hope. Sonia's internal voice insists that she does not wish to die, exclaiming her name in desperation. The focus is on her struggle and determination. King vehemently insists that Sonia must not succumb to death, emphasizing the intensity of his command and determination. Sonia is enveloped in a mystical light, seemingly lifted beyond her physical bounds. Her name echoes within this ethereal space. A celestial Sonia questions who is calling her. Her presence in this surreal environment conveys a bridging point between life and the afterlife. The universe informs Sonia that the Siland Empire still needs her. She is urged to continue living, presenting fate as a key theme. A divine call urges Sonia to wake, imbuing her with newfound vitality. The commanding voice signifies a higher power at play. Sonia wakes surrounded by flowers, appearing rejuvenated and filled with life. She is astonished by her renewed state. Sonia wonders if she has truly been revived. Her confusion reflects the miraculous nature of her circumstance. Sonia assesses her condition, acknowledging the presence of pain but finding comfort that it is much improved from before. Rainbow enters, addressing Princess Sonia and mentioning that the royal family awaits her presence, indicating a return to normalcy. Sonia questions Rainbow about the year, hinting at her disorientation and the shift in time she has experienced. Rainbow informs Sonia that it is 1831, just after her 10th birthday, elucidating the miraculous time leap that has occurred. Sonia teases Rainbow about her bow tie, showing a glimpse of their playful relationship and the lighthearted atmosphere now present. Sonia reflects on reverting to a time before her illness. She contemplates the looming threat of contracting the plague again, realizing the limited time she has. Sonia ponders how she contracted the plague despite never leaving the palace. She considers it might have been an accident, underscoring a mystery to unravel. Sonia sits alone, deep in thought, wondering about the cause of the plague affecting her realm. She feels a shiver run through her, consumed by the mystery of its origin and instilled with a sense of urgency to find the culprit. Rainbow enters the room, concerned about Sonia's health. She asks if Sonia has caught a cold, recalling her warning about kicking off her coat the night before. It's a moment of daily routine and gentle reprimand. Sonia replies defiantly, insisting she isn't ill. She declares she's not going to get sick again, showing her determination to stay healthy despite the underlying concerns about the plague. Rainbow advises Sonia to seek medical attention if she feels unwell, citing Dr. Lauren's words on preventable diseases. She offers practical advice, emphasizing the importance of prevention. The word preventable echoes in Sonia's mind. She questions it with curiosity, pondering the implications of preventing illness and realizing the proactive approach she can take. Sonia, energized by the thought of disease prevention, expresses her newfound understanding to Rainbow. However, Rainbow notes that Sonia's behavior is unusual, hinting at an underlying matter of urgency. Rainbow suddenly remembers their pending audience with the king. Her expression turns to one of concern as she explains to Sonia that they are expected by the royal family, emphasizing the importance of time. Rainbow and Sonia rush through ornate hallways, with Sonia trailing behind. Rainbow pulls her along, urging haste as they make their way to meet with the king, highlighting the urgency and importance of their task. As they move through the castle, the staff make way, acknowledging Sonia's rank with respectful greetings. Sonia hastens forward, driven by her determination and awareness of royal duties. Rainbow assures Sonia that she poses no harm, emphasizing her trust. She ponders over Rainbow's previous mention of a doctor, questioning his reputation while maintaining a thoughtful demeanor. Sonia recalls Dr. Lauren, described as emotionless by Rainbow, and reflects on her past experience with the foul-tasting potion he administered. Her thoughts reveal a lingering distrust, subtly influencing her decisions. Sonia resolves to endure despite the past, driven by a strong will to survive. Her determination is a silent but powerful declaration of her refusal to accept vulnerability. The grand doors creak open, marking the transition into a significant encounter. It symbolizes both a literal and metaphorical passage, highlighting the gravity of the forthcoming meeting. A row of royals, including Mello, Jesse, and Dr. Lauren, stands awaiting Sonia's arrival. While others smile, Ramsay remains unreadable, adding layers of complexity to the royal dynamics. King greets Sonia warmly, acknowledging her presence. His welcoming demeanor contrasts with the underlying tension and curiosity surrounding Sonia's recent actions and requests. Sonia, driven by urgency and newfound resolve, expresses her desire to study medicine. Her request, unexpected in its boldness, proposes a new direction for her future. Mel and Ansel laugh at Sonia's announcement, interpreting it as a jest. The reaction underscores the unconventional nature of Sonia's ambition within the royal context. Jesse, seated across the table, wonders if Sonia has made a bet. He offers support, ready to defend her against perceived challenges, reflecting his protective nature. Ramsay responds with skepticism, dismissing her wish as unsuitable for a princess. His critique highlights the societal expectations and pressures faced by royalty. King rebukes Ramsay's harsh words, asking Sonia to sit and discuss her intentions. He extends a conciliatory hand, aiming to create a supportive environment for Sonia's revelation. Sonia, upset by Ramsay's remark, insists on the seriousness of her wish, supported by Rainbow. Her determination challenges conventional norms, driven by an emotional resolve. Dr. Lauren questions Sonia's sudden interest in medicine, reminding her of past fears. His inquiry seeks to understand the roots of Sonia's decision, probing for deeper motives. Sonia hesitates, grappling with her emotions. Dr. Lauren's question prompts her to confront the true reason behind her ambition, sparking introspection and reflection. Sonia confesses the catalyst for her decision, a nightmarish vision of illness. Her disclosure transforms the palace setting into a place of vulnerability and personal revelation. In her dream, Sonia was bedridden from a debilitating plague, conjuring fears of helplessness and deterioration. Her narrative paints a vivid picture of physical and emotional suffering. She recalls her father's plea for survival, recounting the intensity of the dream. This vision, though haunting, kindles a burning desire to fight against such a fate. Back at the dining table, Sonia's resolve crystallizes. Her inner monologue reveals a profound fear of sickness and death, motivating her to pursue medicine with fervor. Determinedly, Sonia vows to master medicine, aspiring to prevent illness in her family. Her resolve is fueled by the nightmare, transforming fear into purpose. King comforts Sonia, reassuring her of the dream's unreality. His gentle words and presence offer solace, binding familial bonds amid Sonia's newfound mission. Jesse jokingly suggests staying close to him as a safeguard. His light-hearted comment serves as an attempt to lift the mood and solidify family support for Sonia's dreams. Mel and Jesse are sitting confidently on elegant chairs. Mel teases about working out with Jesse, mentioning a side effect of gaining muscle, and hints at it being unattractive. Jesse stands behind Mello and Nello, clearly displeased. Mello and Nello, seated side by side, seem to be in trouble as Jesse scolds them for something they've done. Ramsay sits at the table, looking disinterested and whispering to himself about an unpleasant dream. He finds the situation to be tedious, surrounded by an unfinished meal. Ansel is reassuring Sonia, who is concerned about health. He explains that even with medical expertise, nothing is certain, and studying medicine is complex and challenging. Sonia confidently tells Ansel that she's unafraid of challenges, punctuating her words with a determined gesture. The word bang emphasizes her boldness. King observes Sonia thoughtfully, noting that she seems different today. His expression suggests curiosity about her change in demeanor. Mello and Nello, seated together, exchange glances. One expresses concern that Sonia might cry if their father disapproves, and they discuss making a bet about her resilience. Jessie stands with fists clenched, chastising Mello and Nello for their lack of seriousness. The twins appear startled by his frustration. King towers over Sonia, smiling. He mentions something about a song beloved by her grandmother, hinting at familial affection. Sonia looks up at him with gratitude. Sonia, holding a bird in a magical setting, feels a sense of accomplishment. She reflects on having taken her first step towards her goal against a vibrant mystical backdrop. Rainbow, chasing after Sonia, asks her to slow down. She assures Sonia that the doctor isn't going anywhere. Trying to calm her excitement, Sonia enthusiastically responds to Rainbow, emphasizing that this new step is crucial for changing her destiny. Her expression is filled with hope and determination. A large, stately house comes into view as Sonia and Rainbow arrive. The scene suggests they've reached their destination, marking the beginning of a new chapter. Sonia and Rainbow peek through a partially open door, hesitantly inquiring if Dr. Lauren is present. Their curiosity leads them forward. Dr. Lauren, seated amid a serene environment, acknowledges their presence. He invites them in, displaying patient and welcoming demeanor. Sonia, standing before Dr. Lauren, expresses an interest in studying medicine. She hesitates initially but quickly clarifies her eagerness, surprising herself with her boldness. Sonia shows internal conflict as she realizes how quickly thoughts of disease enter her mind around doctors. She mentally urges herself to stay calm amid the rush of emotions. Dr. Lauren, curious about Sonia's sudden focus on medical issues, wonders if she's feeling unwell. His concern seems to stem from her unusual request. Sonia conveys her father's directive for her to study under Dr. Lauren. She expresses hope that his teaching could be unrestricted in the days ahead. Dr. Lauren, experiencing a slight headache, appears resigned to Sonia's request. He agrees to consider her proposal with mild reluctance. Sonia responds to Dr. Lauren's hesitation with frustration. She questions his decision to ignore her, underscoring her determination to be heard. Dr. Lauren asserts that while he must adhere to royal orders outside, his clinic operates with its own rules. Even the king cannot dictate his actions there. Resolved in his stance, Dr. Lauren tells Sonia regretfully that he cannot comply with her father's command. His expression turns serious as he stands firm. Sonia, passionately arguing for her desire to study medicine, recounts the effort it took to gain permission. Her resolve is unwavering in the face of adversity. Dr. Lauren, intrigued, asks Sonia why she wants to study medicine. Her motivation is central to the conversation, inviting reflection on her goals. Sonia clarifies her reason is to avoid illness herself and to not be burdened with worry. As she explains, Rainbow shows supportive concern beside her. Observing Sonia, Dr. Lauren considers her fear of death unusual for someone so conceited. Her sheltered life hasn't diminished the intensity of her aspirations. Dr. Lauren leans in, acknowledging that Sonia's reason might not match her age, yet it is heartfelt. He seems to gain a deeper understanding of her sincerity. Finding Sonia more engaging than initially believed, Dr. Lauren smiles slightly and decides to give her a chance. This pivotal moment shifts the dynamic between them. Dr. Lauren agrees to teach Sonia on the condition of her effort. He presents a challenge, marking a tentative beginning to a mentor-student relationship. Sonia eagerly anticipates learning new skills, filled with enthusiasm and confidence as she seeks guidance on what to do next. Dr. Lauren reminds Sonia that there are no special titles in his clinic, emphasizing that everyone, including her, is simply a student. Sonia receives her first task from Dr. Lauren, who instructs her on responsibilities she needs to undertake, signaling her initial step into her new role. Dr. Lauren outlines Sonia's assignment, explaining that she must apply ointment to a patient before sunset if she wants to begin her training. Rainbow interrupts, questioning Dr. Lauren's intentions towards Sonia, suggesting a protective instinct over her. Dr. Lauren firmly states that within his clinic, there are only doctors, students, and patients, dismissing any notion of royalty. Rainbow protests, trying to remind Sonia of her royal status, but Sonia insists that she is now a student and asks Rainbow to leave. Rainbow is left in shock by Sonia's decision, while Dr. Lauren warns Sonia about the consequences if she fails her task. As Sonia approaches the patient, Hugh suddenly awakens in pain, which catches her off guard. Sonia explains to the now awake Hugh that her task is to apply ointment to him, as instructed by Dr. Lauren. Hugh, still grappling with the situation, demands to know Sonia's identity. Sonia reminds Hugh of the etiquette of introductions, subtly asking him to introduce himself first. Hugh responds, finally revealing his name to Sonia as Hugh Hawk. Sonia reflects on Hugh's demeanor, noting how different he is from her brothers, which piques her curiosity. Hugh, still adjusting his bandages, requests a dressing change, leaving Sonia surprised by his sudden demand. Sonia experiences frustration at Hugh's lack of respect, reminding him of her royal status. Hugh's revelation about Sonia's true identity shocks him, causing him to question her presence. Sonia acknowledges that Hugh knows her name, a sign of recognition that surprises her. Overcome with fear, Sonia orders Hugh to distance himself from her, reflecting her mounting unease. Angrily, Hugh accuses Sonia of betrayal, expressing deep mistrust and disdain. In a heated moment, Sonia is hit by a pillow from Hugh, escalating their conflict. The sudden impact causes Sonia to fall, hitting the ground painfully. From the floor, Sonia questions Hugh's rudeness, trying to make sense of his behavior. Hugh, turning away, struggles with his emotions, refusing to face Sonia. Sonia, noticing the time, panics as the sun begins to set, worrying about completing her task. As time runs out, Sonia realizes the urgency of her situation, standing in front of Hugh. Hugh contemplates why Sonia's name bothers him so much, feeling inner turmoil. Determined, Sonia approaches Hugh with the intent to change his dressing, focusing on her task. Hugh, filled with distrust, warns Sonia to stay away, expressing his skepticism of royals. Hugh's intense emotions surface as he exclaims how he feels meeting Sonia for the first time. Hugh stands shirtless, speaking about how he was changed by forces beyond his control, hinting at a troubled past and unresolved resentment. Sonia, with a defiant posture, replies that she had no involvement in his transformation, questioning his reasons for blaming her. In a room with a bed, Sonia declares her intention to confront someone violently. Hugh stands nearby, creating a tense atmosphere. Sonia, noticing injuries on Hugh's back, expresses shock at seeing the open wounds. She quickly moves to a bedside table, urgently contemplating what supplies she needs to treat his injuries, listing herbs and bandages. Sonia insists that Hugh's wounds must be treated to prevent infection, while subtly accusing him of wanting to endanger himself. Hugh, with a slight grin, explains that allowing himself to be treated is for the best, implying that Sonia can't keep him captive under the current circumstances. Sonia retorts passionately, expressing indignation at Hugh's disregard for life, emphasizing the horror of death. Hugh counters, stating that death means losing the chance to make a difference, implying Sonia's understanding is limited. Sonia conveys the struggles she's faced to preserve her life, insisting that death is not something to be taken lightly. Hugh reveals that Ramsay's men caused his injuries, expressing distrust towards those aligned with Siland royal affairs. Sonia explains her position as a student under Dr. Lauren's supervision, distancing herself from any royal involvement or deception. Hugh skeptically questions the authenticity of the ointment, suspecting it could cause harm. Determined to prove her sincerity, Sonia shatters a vase, demonstrating her willingness to back her claims with action. Sonia braces herself and expresses her resolve, asserting that enduring pain is preferable to falling ill. Applying the ointment on herself, Sonia winces, admitting that it stings, and asserts her trustworthiness. She suggests proceeding with Hugh's treatment, now confident that she has proved her good intentions. Hugh, quietly persuaded by her actions, agrees to receive help. He requests the ointment, choosing to apply it himself, while Sonia apologetically admits her inexperience in such matters. While treating himself, Hugh apologizes for using the term Mationer earlier. Curious, Sonia asks if Mationer is considered an insult. Hugh elaborates that Mationer is a mythical sea monster dreaded by sailors, illustrating its fearsome reputation. Sonia is taken aback, questioning if Hugh is suggesting she resembles such a creature. Hugh humorously notes that Sonia's hair somewhat resembles the tentacles of the illustrated monster, teasing her in a light-hearted manner. Sonia imagines a creepy image of herself with monstrous tentacles, creating a small moment of eerie humor. She denies the resemblance, launching an animated rebuttal, while Hugh concedes with a playful apology, softening the jest. A narrative illustration appears, depicting the menacing Masquerade attacking ships, its tentacles spreading a mysterious disease. Sonia, intrigued and concerned, asks if the mythical creature really spreads illness. Hugh confirms, adding that sailors consider the Masquerade synonymous with a cunning death. It toys with them until they perish. Sonia questions the fate of those who fall victim to the infection, her curiosity piqued by the tale. Hugh stands with a concerned look, talking about a fever that affects many people. He elaborates on the symptoms of an illness known in his region. A detailed description of the symptoms follows, mentioning that afflicted individuals weaken and develop pale skin with rose-like scars. The narrator continues, explaining the severity of the disease as they suffer from severe asthenia, leading to coughing and the coughing up of blood. Sonia reflects on these symptoms, realizing they match what she experienced before, causing her to reminisce about her own past ordeal. Hugh refers to the illness as the Curse of Abyss, a plague originating from the deep sea and commonly found among sailors. He questions why Sonia is curious about the illness, highlighting that those on land typically do not fall victim to it. Sonia insists she has encountered this sickness before, raising her concern and intrigue about its origins. Hugh emphasizes the improbability of the disease spreading inland, asserting that it predominantly affects those at sea. Sonia questions whether it is truly impossible for the Curse of Abyss to reach inland areas as she trembles with unease. Hugh assures her that soldiers are diligently working to prevent the disease's spread, noting the low likelihood of her encountering it. Sonia contemplates how she might have contracted the peculiar plague and who might wish her harm, pondering the circumstances around her past affliction. Dr. Lorne enters, inquiring about the princess's progress with her task, curious about her dedication and commitment. A vase breaks nearby, drawing Hugh and Sonia's attention as they acknowledge the unexpected situation. Dr. Lorne observes the events, noting that despite the incident, Sonia has successfully passed a test he had in mind for her. He offers Sonia the opportunity to study medicine under his guidance, inviting her to visit his clinic for afternoon lessons. Dr. Lorne assigns her the task of tidying up the broken vase, indicating it as part of her assignments in the future. Sonia apologizes to Dr. Lorne, promising to clean up the mess promptly. Lorne tells Hugh that Sonia will be responsible for his dressing change, marking a shift in roles and duties. Hugh reacts to this news with disdain, expressing his disapproval of the arrangement. Dr. Lorne ponders the princess's seriousness about her studies, finding her dedication more than he anticipated. Sonia expresses her eagerness to learn about plagues and medical knowledge, showing her enthusiasm for swift education. Lorne warns against rushing through such education, questioning her understanding of the value of life as Hugh looks on. He lectures Sonia about the complexity of medicine, urging her to gain foundational knowledge first before advancing. Hugh criticizes Lorne for being overly authoritative, suggesting he often takes advantage of his position rather than teaching. Despite the earlier exchange, Dr. Lorne assigns Sonia to study herbs at the Royal Library, preparing her for upcoming evaluations. Lorne instructs her to address him as master and dismisses her for the evening, emphasizing a structured learning schedule. Sonia realizes the value of the library as a resource for her studies, expressing why she hadn't thought of it earlier. Rainbow catches sight of Sonia, greeting her with enthusiasm as she exits the building. Rainbow, noticing something amiss, asks if Dr. Lorne has been harsh on her, showing concern for her friend. Rainbow sees an injury on Sonia's arm and immediately expresses worry, inquiring about the cause of the injury. Sonia confidently believes she's getting a great deal for her lessons as she holds out her hand, signaling her determination to make the most of them. Rainbow, with a concerned look, gently takes Sonia's hand, expressing worries that her brothers would be upset if she falls ill from overexertion and suggesting she rest. Sonia, resolute and ready for her next task, plans to head to the Royal Library to gather more information about an elusive topic, indicating that it's her next clue. As Sonia stands at the entrance, she is awestruck by the grandeur of the Royal Library, captivated by its vast collection of books and ornate design. Inside the library, Rainbow walks beside Sonia, who is surprised to be recognized immediately amidst the towering shelves. Ansel, holding an old book, warmly greets his sister, mentioning his surprise at seeing her in the library, which seems to be a rare visit for her. Sonia feels the need to clarify to Rainbow that she visits the library, although their timing seems to miss, subtly defensive about her habits. Ansel, with curiosity in his eyes, inquires what has brought his sister. The cute princess, to the library this time, eager to engage in her pursuits. Sonia, in a playful manner, proposes an exchange of information where Ansel would share the contents of his book if she shares her interest with him. Ansel reveals that his book explores the customs of the West Dukedom, expressing its intriguing content and asking Sonia if she has heard of Mationer. Sonia is taken aback by the mention of Mationer, a name that clearly has a significant impact on her. Rainbow echoes Sonia's thoughts, admitting unfamiliarity with Mationer, furthering the mystery surrounding the term. Ansel extends an invitation to Sonia and Rainbow, offering to enlighten them about Mationer, encouraging their curiosity. As they gather around a table, Sonia questions Ansel if he has any connection with the ongoing issues related to a plague, building on the conversation. Sonia appears curious about Ansel's choice of reading, which seems to stray away from political theories towards something more legendary. An open book reveals information about an upcoming visit from the West Dukedom to the ceremony of Goddess, hinting at Sonia's responsibility in preparing for it. Sonia recalls the past visit of people from West Dukedom at the ceremony of Goddess 5 years ago, piecing together fragments of the story. Ansel elaborates on Mationer, describing it as an evil god associated with a deadly plague, which instills fear among sailors. Sonia connects this information with what Hugh mentioned previously, pondering over the connection between the legend and the West Envoy's visit. Ansel points out a song related to Mationer that sailors sing, suggesting it as a preventive measure against disasters. He notes the similarity between the sailor's song and the national anthem dedicated to the Scylla goddess, proposing a historical link. Sonia considers the eerie resemblance between the songs, questioning if there might be a deeper connection between them. Ansel reminds that Sonia will be performing at the ceremony, implying that she might need to understand these songs better. Sonia looks into the book, puzzled to find that the rhythm and melody are alike except for the differing endings, adding to the mystery. The text describes Mationer's terrifying image, emphasizing its role in causing vortices and plagues, hinting at deeper themes of chaos. Sonia discovers that the crucial parts of the book were deliberately removed, leaving gaps in understanding the full story. Identifying the previous readers, Sonia contemplates the list of names, which includes notable figures and officials, pondering their involvement. With a backdrop of ominous storm clouds, Sonia attempts to connect the pieces of a complex puzzle involving Ansel and the Scylla Empire. Ansel clarifies that the words were missing when he found the book, suggesting he was hoping Sonia might have some insights to share. Sonia cheerfully admits she was unaware of Mationer until Ansel mentioned it, indicating her interest in unraveling the mystery further. Sonia sits at a long table with Dr. Lauren, pondering over her upcoming test on herbs and medical books. Dr. Lauren's presence signals a sense of responsibility and impending challenge for her. Dr. Lauren gently suggests to Sonia that she should take a break if the reading becomes too overwhelming for her, displaying a look of understanding and support. Sonia voices her frustrations, mentioning that Ansel always expresses his love for her, yet doubts her abilities. Her determination to prove herself is evident as Rainbow listens. With a subtle gesture, Dr. Lauren reassures Sonia, affirming his belief in her capabilities due to her being Ansel's sister, signifying trust and faith in her potential. Sonia recalls seeing the word liar on Ansel's glasses, hinting at past moments of doubt and trust issues she has with her brother, reflecting her inner conflict. Dr. Lauren acknowledges Sonia's cleverness, mentioning that his love for her is genuine, though his playful demeanor suggests a more complex relationship. Sonia, filled with mixed emotions, pleads not to be teased. Her expression suggests a deep need to be taken seriously, amidst her insecurities. Dr. Lauren calls after Sonia, holding up books she was searching for, indicating his continued support and role as her guide in her studies. Sonia graciously receives the books from Dr. Lauren as he gently pats her head, reinforcing his affectionate and supportive role in her life. Reminiscing about a feast, Sonia recalls being tasked by her father to sing the anthem, drawing attention from unfamiliar faces, indicative of her sense of duty and the pressures of her past. Ansel intervened during the event, removing the strangers, leaving with Ramsey, Mello, and Dr. Lauren, which left Sonia pondering their mysterious actions. Reflecting on Ansel's actions, Sonia questions his true intentions and loyalty, portraying her growing suspicion and quest for truth. Sonia instructs Rainbow to discreetly observe Ansel, hoping to glean more about his daily activities and ensure she's not left in the dark. Rainbow is curious about Sonia's request concerning Ansel, seeking clarification on the unusual task. Sonia insists on her instructions, emphasizing the importance without offering an explanation. Rainbow agrees to comply, showcasing their dynamic. In a flashback, young Ansel is seen as the hare, radiating confidence and pride, admired by those around him, including Sonia. Ansel was praised by his tutors for his excellence in various subjects, an image of perfection that influenced Sonia's perception of him. Sonia remembers being comforted by Ansel during her illness, his gentle demeanor at odds with her current doubts, underscoring her conflicted memories. Sonia struggles with the realization that she knows little of Ansel's preferences despite his perfect facade, highlighting her internal unease. Ansel's assurance to Sonia about never joking resonates with her, emphasizing her struggle to discern sincerity from deception. Determined to unveil the truth, Sonia resolves to stay calm and focused as she plans to discover the real nature of her brother's intentions. In her luxurious bed, Sonia is advised to rest. The peaceful setting contrasts sharply with her restless thoughts. Suddenly, Sonia feels a sharp pain, prompting Rainbow to rush in, concerned about her well-being. Sonia confesses her fear to Rainbow, expressing her reluctance to be alone, which reveals her vulnerability. Rainbow finds Sonia awake and anxious, seeking reassurance about her state of existence, questioning her reality. Rainbow offers comfort, vowing to protect Sonia from any nightmares, showcasing their close bond. Sonia describes a haunting dream of being on her deathbed, recounting a sense of inescapable fate that troubles her. Rainbow comforts Sonia as she confirms the dream shared with their ruler, solidifying the ongoing confusion between dreams and reality. Sonia recalls her life vividly every time she closes her eyes, a recurring cycle of memories she can't escape. Rainbow listens intently as Sonia struggles to explain the vividness of her dreams, indicating an ongoing battle with understanding her past and present. Rainbow is worried about Sonia and decides to seek help from Dr. Lauren, realizing that the princess is in distress. Determined, Rainbow leaves urgently, promising to return quickly with assistance for Sonia. Meanwhile, Sonia clutches a pillow, pondering the meaning behind her recurring dreams and whether there's something deeper troubling her. The night sky is serene, but Sonia's plea not to be left alone echoes the emptiness of the scene. Rainbow reaches Dr. Lauren's quarters, calling out for assistance as Hugh answers the door, seemingly just waking. Rainbow explains Sonia's persistent nightmares and insists on needing Dr. Lauren's help right away. Hugh is confused by the urgency. Annoyed by the loud interruptions, Hugh advises calmness, frustrated by the noise in the middle of the night. Annoyed, Hugh threatens to disrupt Dr. Lauren's rest further unless he attends to the situation immediately. Hugh retorts, annoyed by the persistence and suggesting that he has no intention of being intimidated or threatened. Dr. Lauren appears, chiding Hugh and warning him that he isn't afraid to assert his authority over patients if needed. Rainbow urges Dr. Lauren once again about Sonia's troubling situation, emphasizing the frequency of the incidents. Dr. Lauren instructs Hugh to prepare the medical kit swiftly, stressing the urgency as the princess awaits. Hugh questions the fairness of commanding him like a patient, wondering about the doctor's sense of responsibility. Dr. Lauren assures Hugh that challenging him is not wise, suggesting there will be consequences for his behavior. As they head to Sonia, Dr. Lauren asks Rainbow to specify the symptoms more clearly for accurate assistance. Rainbow describes Sonia's alarming symptoms, explaining her night terrors and unusual behavior with concern. They approach a door, with Rainbow guiding and indicating their near arrival to Sonia's room. Hugh enters the room, surprised by the atmosphere and the presence of others. Sonia rushes forward, embracing Hugh, relieved at his return, mistaking him for Rainbow. Both Rainbow and Dr. Lauren react with surprise upon witnessing Sonia's sudden familiarity with Hugh. Hugh is caught off guard, explaining to Sonia that he is not Rainbow, and asks to be released. After checking on Sonia, Dr. Lauren concludes that while her physical health is fine, there may be underlying mental issues. He speculates that Sonia's condition might be a misalignment between body and soul, but lacks a clear solution. Confused, Sonia listens but admits her struggle to comprehend the explanations given by Dr. Lauren. Dr. Lauren laments the insufficiency of medical knowledge regarding mental health, considering it a gap in understanding. Dr. Lauren instructs Hugh to fetch Silas leaves from the clinic, reminding him to inform the guards about the princess's state. Dr. Lauren warns Sonia of the importance of honesty in patient-doctor interactions to ensure effective treatment. King enters the room in a hurry, calling out for Sonia, with Ansel and Jessie flanking him. Sonia is surprised and overjoyed by the appearance of her father and brothers, questioning their unexpected visit. King reassures Sonia, promising that he will handle everything, noting her pale appearance and expressing concern. Sonia sits on the bed, receiving a gentle pat on the head from her father, who affectionately calls her his little baby. Mello, observing Sonia, whispers to Jesse about Sonia looking like a kitty cat while being petted. King looks at Sonia and Mello, mentioning the greatest love he shows his sons is by not spanking them, as Sonia puffs her cheeks. Jess stands with Mello and Sonia clinging to him, complaining that their father doesn't love them, using their brother for consolation. Dr. Lauren presents Sonia with a bunny puppet, suggesting it might help her sleep better at night. Sonia grasps Ansel's sleeve, asking him to place the puppet on the cabinet, expressing some unease. Sonia questions internally whether Ansel could be related to her disease while receiving a comforting touch from King. Ramsey chastises Sonia for her inability to sleep alone and her tendency to be spoiled by seeking company constantly. Sonia explains that nightmares plague her every night, clinging to King as she insists it wasn't intentional. Ramsey accuses Sonia of being overly dependent on their father, unable to live without him. Sonia assures that she can manage on her own, but questions why she perceives herself as a child in her second life. King admonishes Ramsey, cautioning him not to overstep as he comforts Sonia with care. Ramsey, turning away, reluctantly agrees to comply with King's authority, acknowledging his father's reprimand. Ansel enters the room, addressing Dr. Lauren with the herbs he had requested for the treatment. Dr. Lauren explains to King the coordination issue between Sonia's soul and body, taking charge of her care. As advised, King departs with Ramsey, Jesse, and others, leaving Sonia in the care of Dr. Lauren. Ansel bumps into Ramsey, who glares at him after being slightly startled by the encounter. Ramsey, facing Ansel, issues an antagonistic remark, warning him not to think he can escape unnoticed. Rainbow encourages Sonia, who reluctantly drinks the bitter medicine from her cup. Dr. Lauren instructs Sonia on the importance of adhering to the medication scheduled to suppress her nightmares. Dr. Lauren lightly pats Sonia's head, advising her to ensure she rests adequately for her recovery. Departing, Dr. Lauren reminds Sonia to attend her medicine studies when she's well rested, leaving her pondering. Sonia believes that despite Dr. Lauren's stern exterior, he can never truly be heartwarming, as she reacts dramatically. Sonia reflects on whether her medicine's effect or her acclimatization to her second life is helping her, noting that her nightmares have subsided. While searching for information on the play or magician, Sonia feels increasingly discouraged by the lack of progress and dead ends she encounters. Holding the last of the books, Sonia considers the possibility that these tomes might not yield any new information concerning the West Dukedom. Rainbow appears weighed down by a stack of books, asking Sonia about the possibility of completing her readings, which Sonia plans to do at the clinic. Dr. Lauren comments on Sonia's typical distraction from her medical studies as she's engrossed in reading, causing her to look up curiously. With a smile, Dr. Lauren suggests that Sonia needs a test, leaving his exact intentions unclear. Sonia and Rainbow, startled by the prospect of a test, comically accuse Dr. Lauren of being a cold-hearted monster as books tumble around them. Lauren examines the papers on the desk while Sonia sits quietly across from him. Hugh stands nearby, contemplating something. Lauren expresses uncertainty about the diligence depicted in the documents, indicating there's more to understand. Lauren and Hugh closely review the papers together. Hugh points out errors related to drug names, questioning the accuracy of the treatments listed. The two are trying to piece together a clearer picture. Sonia is concerned, admitting difficulty in remembering the correct distinctions among the drugs. Her expression hints at frustration as she struggles with the complexity of her task. Lauren instructs Sonia to identify herbs with the wrong names and transform them into usable medicine, emphasizing the importance of accuracy in her work. His words suggest a critical but constructive attitude. Sonia is apprehensive about her ability to prepare the medicine despite being able to find the necessary herbs. Her hesitation reflects her uncertainty in facing the new challenge. Hugh comments on Sonia's abilities with a mix of skepticism and playful banter, possibly doubting her competence in creating effective medicine. Lauren calmly acknowledges Hugh's skepticism, implying confidence in Sonia's potential. He sees value in the experience and trusts the process over Hugh's doubts. Hugh is taken aback, clearly surprised by Lauren's comments. This interaction highlights Hugh's unexpected role in Lauren's plans for Sonia's development. Lauren addresses Hugh's playful teasing, clarifying that Sonia's medicine is intended for Hugh. Lauren subtly reminds Hugh of his role as a recipient, steering the focus back to the learning process. Lauren asserts control over the situation, emphasizing his authority in mentoring Sonia. Hugh bristles at the remark, portraying himself as both a patient and an unwilling participant in Lauren's strategy. Sonia expresses gratitude towards Lauren, showing her eagerness to embrace the challenge with a positive outlook. He reacts in the background, underscoring his mixed feelings about the unfolding events. Determined not to remain passive, Hugh resolves internally to involve himself actively. His motivation seems to spring from a desire to assert his own capability and influence. Hugh confronts an inquiring Sonia with a serious demeanor, prompting her to wonder about his intentions. The interaction suggests a developing dynamic of curiosity and resolve between them. Hugh declares his commitment to accompany Sonia wherever she goes, signaling a shift towards partnership. His pledge underscores the importance he places on the mission and his role in it. Amidst the forest, Hugh examines a plant critically, observing that it is not the Galatian vine he seeks. His attention to detail implies determination to ensure accuracy in their task. Sonia desires independence, asking Hugh to let her conduct her own research. Her request indicates her wish to expand her knowledge and confidence in identifying herbs. Hugh responds with a resigned acceptance, recognizing the importance of the task at hand. Despite his reservations, he acknowledges the necessity of collaboration. Sonia questions her own reliability, prompting Hugh to confirm her self-doubt. This exchange suggests ongoing challenges in building trust and confidence between them. In a playful chase through the woods, Hugh intentionally distances himself from Sonia, who calls for him to stop. Their interaction denotes a comedic tension interspersed with lightheartedness. With a teasing grin, Hugh declares he would stay put only if he lacked intelligence. His remark adds humor to the situation, maintaining their dynamic of friendly rivalry. Hugh signals for silence, drawing attention to an advancing figure. Nearby, Ramsay wields a whip, striking at the ground, indicating a tense moment of authority and discipline. Sonia watches the scene unfold with concern, remarking to herself on the harshness of Ramsay's actions. Her perspective highlights the severity of the unfolding events. Hugh reflects on his own previous injuries, revealing a history with Ramsay that involves past wounds. He shares this insight with a somber attitude, allowing a glimpse of vulnerability. Sonia apologizes on behalf of Ramsay, attempting to extend peace and understanding. Her apology suggests empathy and a willingness to mediate conflict. Hugh reassures Sonia, acknowledging the distinction between Ramsay's actions and her own. His comforting gesture signifies an acceptance of her intentions and a focus on harmony. Ramsay continues to dominate the scene with assertive confidence, demanding clemency for a misunderstood incident. His commanding presence exemplifies the tension. With fervent conviction, Ramsay claims his noble status and defends his mother's honor against perceived slights. His expression of loyalty underscores his rigid principles. Ramsay angrily questions the presence of an uncivilized intruder, maintaining his guarded stance. His vigilant outlook intensifies the charged atmosphere. Sonia watches from concealment while Hugh advises her to remain hidden. The moment illustrates a bond built on mutual concern and protection. Finally, Hugh faces Ramsay, casually explaining his intentions as simply passing by. His calm demeanor serves to de-escalate the tension within the charged environment. Ramsay, with a whip in hand, speaks menacingly about someone he calls the abandoned nasty dog of Wes, wondering what they are doing there. Hugh responds calmly, stating he was just passing by and has no interest in Ramsay's actions. Ramsay orders a servant to beat another character, promising they'll be acquitted if he is pleased with their obedience. The servant, clearly troubled, deflects blame onto circumstances outside their control. Sonia intervenes, demanding that everyone stop this outrageous behavior immediately. The servant falls to the ground, a loud cry echoes, leaving Sonia and Hugh standing over him in shock. Sonia notices a stain on her dress and comments on the damage. Ramsay angrily calls the servant useless for failing to follow his orders, emphasizing not to harm Sonia. The servant pleads for mercy, citing familial obligations as a reason to be spared. Sonia, conflicted, tells Hugh she cannot absolve him, stating that he isn't her subject to protect. Ramsay scoffs at the servant, mocking them for begging someone other than their own master for mercy. Ramsay orders his followers to bring the so-called traitor back to him. The servant, desperate, clutches at Sonia's dress, begging not to die. Sonia is taken aback by the plea but thoughtfully acknowledges the servant's fear. A guard states they are merely following orders, asking Sonia and Hugh not to interfere further. Hugh asserts that no one will be taken without the proper authority, backing Sonia's stance. Sonia reassures the servant, vowing not to let them die, showing unexpected compassion. The guard looks at Hugh, urging him not to complicate the situation further. Sonia declares herself as the first daughter of Siland Empire, invoking her status to bless and protect the servant. Ramsay challenges Sonia, questioning if she's truly against him with her bold actions. Sonia begins a ritualistic invocation, dedicating the servant's life to the Siland goddess. She completes the blessing, promising health and happiness granted by the goddess to the kneeling servant. The guards witness what seems to be a divine epiphany, awestruck by the unfolding events. The guards hastily apologize, begging for forgiveness and acknowledgement from Sonia. Ramsay, infuriated, demeans his followers for being unable to handle the situation and considers stepping himself. Ramsay's hand clenches the whip tighter, frustrated by the incompetence he perceives around him. A sudden commotion leads to Sonia being pushed toward water, her balance lost amidst the chaos. A bystander alerts everyone to Sonia's perilous fall into the water, calling for someone to help. Beneath the water, Sonia struggles, her form outlined by the bubbles rising rapidly. Hugh urgently pushes aside anyone in his way, determined to rescue Sonia from the water. Ramsay is sitting on the ground, holding a rope and expressing that he is not at fault for what happened. Sonia is submerged in water, desperately thinking of Hugh and asking for his help, her hair floating weightlessly around her. Hugh is swimming underwater, fully clothed, with determined focus, heading towards Sonia. Hugh reaches Sonia and cradles her carefully, silently assuring her that he is there to save her. Sonia appears ethereal and serene, her hair flowing around her as she acknowledges that the destined moment has not yet come. A mysterious ethereal figure, possibly a goddess, instructs Sonia to return to life as she possesses the figure's blood in her veins. Sonia regains consciousness, lying in bed as nearby attendants note her awakening, celebrating that Her Highness is finally awake. Rainbow stands by Sonia's bedside as she sits up, confused about her surroundings and questioning where she is, trying to grasp the situation. Rainbow, looking concerned, mentions it's been a day since Sonia fell unconscious, emphasizing her own worry during Sonia's absence. Dr. Lauren advises Sonia to rest after suffering from a cold, while Hugh awaits nearby, seemingly ready to assist with her recovery. Hugh offers a bowl to Sonia, suggesting that she drink it to aid in her recovery, reflecting his concern for her well-being. Sonia, holding the bowl, asks Hugh if he was the one who saved her from drowning, recalling the events at the lake. Hugh confirms that he was indeed the one who pulled Sonia from the water, relieved that she has regained consciousness. As Hugh sneezes, Sonia is momentarily surprised, her focus shifting from their conversation to Hugh's apparent cold symptoms. Dr. Lauren lightly reprimands Hugh for being a patient too, suggesting he rest, and warns of potential royal displeasure if he neglects his health. Hugh acknowledges Dr. Lauren's advice, stating his intention to rest after finishing another bowl of medicine. Sonia, puzzled, questions the title Sir Whitehawk, indirectly referring to Hugh, seeking clarity on the names used. Rainbow begins explaining to Sonia the series of events that transpired during her one-day coma, indicating there's much she doesn't know. Rainbow recounts how Hugh quickly jumped into the lake to rescue Sonia after she fell in, noting his bravery and prompt action. Rainbow explains that Ramsay collapsed from shock and subsequently fled the scene once he saw Sonia in a coma, adding to the chaos of that day. Rainbow continues to recount how the remaining guards carried Sonia and Hugh to the clinic, ensuring their care. Kane, clearly angered by the events, expresses his fury upon learning about the incident and the actions of those involved. King issues a decree that Ramsay will be grounded following the incident, emphasizing the seriousness of the situation and the expected consequences. Despite his anger, King shows a moment of tenderness, expressing concern for Sonia, demonstrating his deep care for her well-being. Rainbow mentions that Prince Ansel and Jesse also visited, delivering a certificate and a gift, demonstrating their concern and respect. Rainbow enthusiastically adds that Mela and Nello secretly left gifts outside the clinic, showing their support in their own unique way. Sonia reflects on the number of visitors she received while in the clinic, feeling grateful and uplifted by the attention and care. Sonia is introspective, wondering about the meaning of the destined moment she heard about during her coma, but realizes it's not the right time yet. Sonia, slightly frustrated by the slow pace of progress, engages in some mundane tasks like grinding herbs, seeking to occupy her time constructively. Sonia searches for evening primrose on a shelf, speaking to herself as she engages with the simple, yet fulfilling task of gathering elements for her work. Sonia stands frozen as King, towering above her, warns of expulsion if his herbs are used without permission. The gravity of his words hangs in the air. Overwhelmed, Sonia acknowledges the challenge. Evening Primrose, critical for her task, needs careful drying, and she doubts there's enough time to complete it today. Rainbow praises Sonia's achievements. She relays a message from Mrs. Linda, urging Sonia to improve her table manners. Sonia wipes away stress as Rainbow insists on the importance of etiquette for nobles. Their conversation reflects their differing responsibilities. Maggie watches the girls head off, reminding them not to keep the teacher waiting. The path before them feels long. Sonia ponders using fresh primroses. Doubt creeps in, not wanting consequences from Dr. Lauren. She hesitates with her risky solution. The mention of the upcoming arrival of West Dukedom's delegation adds another layer of pressure. Sonia considers these looming events. Two nuns chat about the distinctive appearance of people from West Dukedom, echoing rumors. Their conversation reveals curiosity and misconceptions. Rainbow stresses the importance of preparing for the West Dukedom's visit post-defeat. Sonia is urged to be ready for this significant occasion. Sonia wonders about the visitor's identity, leaving the political concerns to her family. Meanwhile, Hugh's connection to the envoy piques her curiosity. Dr. Lauren introduces Maggie Wes, a formidable figure with her own fleet, underlining her importance and the potential challenges ahead. Surprised, Sonia recalls consistently encountering her brother Ansel whenever West Dukedom is mentioned. The pattern nags at her. Ansel assures Sonia to address him informally, maintaining familiarity despite the context of their discussion on West Dukedom. Sonia finds humor in the prospect of extra tutoring. She and Rainbow share a moment of levity amidst their tasks. Ansel excuses himself as the girls move along, indicating a shift in focus and a continuous carousal of palace duties. A gentle reminder for Sonia to expedite her tasks fills the air. The urgency is palpable, demanding her undivided attention. Sonia expresses her fatigue, questioning if Rainbow is pushing her beyond her limits in this demanding routine. Ramsay seems amused and vengeful, alluding to grounding due to Sonia. His words carry a promise of making her experience greater challenges. Rainbow checks on Sonia's well-being. The reminder of their herb-picking task follows the etiquette course, prompting Sonia to maintain focus. Sonia frets over the risk of using the herbs improperly and fears Dr. Lauren's repercussions. She questions his strictness. Maggie's playful mimic of Dr. Lauren saying Sonia's name underscores her anxiety, depicting their camaraderie. Startled, Sonia reacts to Maggie's impression of Dr. Lauren, acknowledging the underlying stress it provokes. Maggie teases Sonia for her overreaction, drawing attention to Sonia's nerves about her responsibilities. Maggie questions Sonia about her intention to deceive with raw herbs, highlighting the flaw in her plan. Maggie recalls Dr. Lauren's instructions, reminding Sonia of the urgency in drying the herbs before use. Sonia's indignation rises, pondering the unwelcome critique. Her status doesn't shield her from Maggie's honest remarks. Sonia counters Maggie's critique, challenging his authority as if he were above her societal rank, illustrating her frustration. Maggie's disappointment is clear as he accuses Sonia of adopting the airs of other royals, ending his involvement. Rainbow reflects on Maggie's self-importance. Her expression of disdain adds humor to the tense situation. Determined, Sonia vows never to cut corners again, committing herself fully to the task of preparing herbs properly despite time constraints. Hugh sits under a tree, reflecting on how a few words can affect others, pondering if ignoring them would have been better. Someone approaches, noting that a patient is outside enjoying nature instead of resting in the clinic. Lauren stands before Hugh, folding his arms as he questions if Hugh had a disagreement with someone referred to as a canary. Hugh dismissively mentions a princess trying to deceive him with fresh herbs and warns of the consequences. Lauren reassures Hugh, expressing confidence in not being easily deceived, especially by someone inexperienced. An unseen person nervously handles herbs, desperately hoping not to get caught. Lauren, with concern, asks Sonia about her condition and whether she has continued taking the tranquilizing soup he prescribed her. Sonia confirms the soup is effective as her nightmares have ceased, offering a sense of relief. Lauren decides to prescribe more of the solution to prevent any potential relapse in Sonia's condition. Sonia feels relieved, thinking that she hasn't been exposed, attributing her luck to divine intervention. Lauren instructs Sonia to leave once finished, emphasizing not to be a hindrance in the area. Sonia feels neglected, frustrated over not receiving an opportunity to apologize to Hugh despite any misunderstandings. Rainbow enters with a sense of urgency, encouraging the princess to drink the prepared medicine promptly. An accident occurs as Sonia spills the medicine, causing her to start coughing. Rainbow becomes alarmed as Sonia collapses, clutching her throat and struggling to breathe. Sonia's throat feels itchy, causing more coughing fits and alarming those around her. Rainbow regrets skipping the tasting process and quickly decides to seek immediate assistance. Rainbow rushes out the door, pleading for Sonia to hold on while help is on the way. Sonia struggles with an intense itch in her throat, feeling as though it's filled with worms, yet unable to find relief. She desperately requests water to soothe the unbearable itch tormenting her. He reflects on his actions, feeling justified as he decides to approach the situation more calmly. He enters and finds Sonia in a state of distress, asking what is troubling her. Seeing her condition, Hugh resolves to take Sonia to the clinic immediately for help. Sonia, worried about contagion, pleads with Hugh to let her go, fearing she might have something serious. Hugh dismisses her concerns, knowing his duty requires him to help those in need instead of avoiding them. Upon arriving at Lauren's door with Sonia, Hugh urgently calls for assistance, stating Sonia's illness. Lauren opens the door, instructing that only Sonia can enter while Hugh must stay outside. Sonia agrees to follow Lauren inside, still coughing due to her persistent symptoms. Feeling weary, Hugh rests outside the door, jokingly noting Sonia's unexpected wait. Inside, Sonia realizes the medicine might have been switched and voices her concern to Lauren. Dr. Lauren noticed an itch in his throat and wondered if it could be a contagious disease as he attended to the shelves in the clinic. Holding a sprig of evening primrose, Dr. Lauren questioned its contents, seeking clarity about the potential cause of his symptoms. Sonia confessed that the evening primroses were not dried in time, implying negligence in proper medicinal preparation. The half-processed primroses caused a severe itch. Sonia realized the importance of proper handling to make medicine. A hand extended a bottle, offering relief by suggesting that consuming the pill would alleviate the itch quickly. Sonia vowed not to be lazy again after experiencing the consequences of her oversight, reflecting on her mistake. Dr. Lauren emphasized the seriousness of medicine, instructing Sonia to understand the patient's suffering firsthand by trying the unfinished medicine. Sonia resolved to convert the primroses into powder and carry it as a reminder, but Dr. Lauren insisted on taking medicine before any other task. Agreeing, Sonia decided to consume the medicine immediately. Understanding Dr. Lauren's concerns, Sonia acknowledged that neglecting basics could lead to traps and resolved to be more vigilant in her future endeavors. Sonia felt a divine voice blessed by the Sylvan goddess, providing her a sense of calm and determination. A religious figure suggested Sonia drink water to soothe her throat, showing concern for her health. Sonia politely declined the offer, expressing gratitude while stating she was not thirsty. Heading to the clinic, Sonia declined further assistance, eager to fulfill her responsibilities there. Rainbow approached Sonia, offering water, but Sonia assured her she was fine, complimenting Rainbow's service. Despite not understanding the attention she receives, Sonia appreciated Rainbow's dedication to providing nourishment. Sonia admired Rainbow's kindness, finding the provided food and drinks to be particularly delightful. Rainbow pondered the odd behavior of princesses after a certain age, noting a change since Sonia's birthday. Reflecting on her caution, Rainbow acknowledged it sometimes led others to doubt her intentions, before heading to the clinic. Sonia and Rainbow walked through the forest, and Rainbow struggled to keep pace due to the heavy load she carried. Sonia called out to Hugh, proposing they collect herbs together, excited about the task ahead. Hugh was deep in conversation with another person, appearing engaged in a significant discussion. Observing the conversation, Sonia recalled the familiar impression of the other person as a minister and wondered about his connection to Hugh. Sonia entered a room, relieved that Dr. Lauren was currently occupied with a patient, giving her a moment of reprieve. Another person promised Sonia they wouldn't disclose her moments of rest, understanding her situation. Sonia addressed the conversation she saw outside the clinic, curious about the matters being discussed. The person admitted Sonia saw correctly and prepared to explain the details of the discussion. It was revealed that the person involved with Hugh was orchestrated by Princess Maggie, a sibling of differing maternal descent. The person confessed to acting as a spy, persuaded to report on Sonia's brother's activities to the mysterious figure. Sonia was astonished to learn about the espionage linked to her father's people and questioned the person's identity, recognizing his role as the Prince of West Dukem. Hugh sits on a bed, reflecting on his situation, feeling trapped as a hostage after losing a royal fight. His attire is simple, fitting his resigned demeanor. Sonia looks concerned, questioning how someone could betray their own sibling, puzzled by the complexities of loyalty within the royal family. Hugh responds, feeling misunderstood. He explains the lack of familial affection in royalty, blaming his hostage status on being incriminated unfairly by a woman. He shares a plan to go back if he joins Maggie's party, indicating a glimmer of hope in his voice, despite his current predicament. In a regal outfit, Hugh stands amidst a fiery backdrop, clutching a sword. He remembers his title as an Orthodox prince from the neighboring country, contemplating his role in the conflict. Hugh views a banner with intricate symbols, realizing that escaping the enmity between his and Sonia's countries might be impossible. The focus shifts to the elegant footwear of a woman rushing along an ornate carpet as she insists on hurrying to avoid being late, hinting at an upcoming event. Sonia, looking flustered, blames Rainbow for the intricate braid, feeling it's too complicated for a formal dinner party, expressing her slight frustration. Rainbow counters, reminding Sonia that it was her who overslept, playfully accepting some responsibility with a light-hearted demeanor. Jessie and Maggie appear at the entrance, acknowledging Sonia's presence. Maggie's luxurious attire contrasts with Jess's more understated look, indicating a significant social occasion. Maggie compliments Sonia, contrasting her with rumors of the Silend Empire's goddess, showing an unexpected affection and curiosity. Sonia introduces herself formally, stating her position in the Silend Empire, showing her nerves while trying to maintain her composure. Maggie laughs at a jest, noting the difference between herself and her brother Jesse. Jessie, less amused, requests that she release him gently, showing sibling dynamics. Maggie introduces herself properly, explaining her title and purpose. She maintains a playful demeanor, showing affection towards Sonia. Sonia internally reacts to Maggie's attention, feeling an inexplicable fear reminiscent of a past encounter. Her expression shows a mix of surprise and unease. From afar, Mello and Nello notice Sonia's discomfort towards Maggie and joke amongst themselves about who can tease Sonia, showcasing a light-hearted rivalry. Mello and Nello, amused by Sonia's appearance, teasingly call her Bunny Sonia, while pulling at her hair, showing their mischievous nature. They consider presenting Sonia to their father for rewards, treating her like a prize rather than a person, highlighting their immature amusement. Curious, Sonia asks Mello and Nello if they've met Maggie before. They deny it humorously, asserting their memory of every woman, playing into their flirtatious personalities. Sonia reflects to herself, pondering her sense of déjà vu with Maggie, questioning if there's a link from a past life as she processes her overwhelming feelings. Jessie intervenes, chastising Mello and Nello for teasing Sonia, threatening them humorously if they continue, emphasizing his protective nature towards Sonia. The twins humorously retort to Jess's reprimands, calling him names while Sonia stands between them, unworried by their antics, reflecting a normal familial interaction. Concerned, Jess gently holds Sonia, noticing her thinness. He questions her self-care, showing brotherly concern as he evaluates her well-being. Embarrassed, Sonia tells Jessie to put her down, conscious of the attention they're attracting from the surrounding Wasian guests, hinting at her shy nature. Jess replies with a grin, noting their father's specific request for him to bring her over, justifying his actions as practical, lifting her easily. Sonia finally arrives before Dr. Lauren and King. They're relieved to see her. Dr. Lauren in particular expresses urgency and slight impatience in waiting for her arrival. Dr. Lauren advises Sonia to go to the king, explaining Jess's strong reaction was due to concern. Jessie stands by, feigning innocence about any lack of thoughtfulness. The king converses with Sonia, discussing her recent absences. He refers to advice from Dr. Lauren about maturity, while also mentioning estrangement, hoping to reconnect. The king mentions Maggie's offer to perform as Sonia's aide in an upcoming ceremony, encouraging her to participate once more and showcasing the care he has taken by customizing gowns. The king looks forward to Sonia's performance, expressing his confidence in her abilities, hoping it will strengthen bonds among their family and the attending guests. Jessie stood with Maggie, holding a cup, as thoughts of their past lives together played in his mind. Sonia, with a sense of duty, accepted the need to perform despite being wary of Maggie's influence, symbolized by the flowers surrounding her. Sonia contemplated the difficulty of confiding in Rainbow about her concerns, as her connection to Hugh complicated matters. Rainbow admired Princess Sonia's dress, declaring it the latest talk of the capital. Sonia received Rainbow's compliments with modesty, feeling that the praise might be too much. Hugh announced his task from the high priest to bring the crown and scepter, standing at the door. Rainbow coordinated with Hugh to have the crown prepared, noting its absence from Sonia's attire. Rainbow, noticing Hugh's distraction, questioned his attentiveness, trying to snap him back to reality. Sonia, with her hair and attire in place, queried how she appeared, seeking reassurance. Hugh was left flustered by Sonia's question, lost in thought as emotions surfaced. Taking a moment, Hugh finally mustered a response, noting Sonia's appearance with sincerity. Both Sonia and Hugh blushed, catching each other's gaze, as the atmosphere filled with shared embarrassment. The final touches were added to Sonia's ensemble with the placement of the crown, signaling her readiness. Despite being dressed for the occasion, Sonia sighed, expressing reluctance about performing. Rainbow encouraged Sonia, gently pushing her forward, reminding her of the ceremony's dependence on her singing. Hugh, now tasked with escorting Sonia to the venue, acknowledged his role, albeit with some hesitation. The priests announced Sonia's arrival, marking the beginning of the ceremonial proceedings. Maggie awaited with anticipation, ready to witness what Sonia's performance would bring. Maggie reflected on Sonia's renowned singing, eager for the dance that would accompany it. With the ceremony about to start, Sonia internally sought guidance on managing Maggie's presence. Observing Sonia, Maggie remarked inwardly on her perceptive nature, fostering a subtle tension. The priest guided Sonia to her position, indicating her moment to begin whenever ready. From below, the gathered crowd noticed Sonia's voice commence as the ceremony's anticipation built. Sonia's hand gestured gracefully in the air as her voice carried the ceremonial words. With melodic rhythm, Sonia continued her song, embodying the elements of the narrative. The lyrics depicted natural imagery, invoking the dawn and its luminous quality. Maggie began her dance, aligning with Sonia's song, as if tearing through the fabric of night. In another part of the ceremony, a priest invoked blessings while the symbolic fire burned brightly. As Sonia sang, she called on the goddess's protection for the empire and its people. After the ceremony, Maggie complimented Sonia on her beautiful voice, perhaps with a hint of deeper meaning. Maggie holds Sonia closely, expressing admiration for a song she sang, comparing it to a sailor's tune. Jess stands in the hallway, noticing Sonia and mentioning someone waiting for her, implying Hugh's presence. Once outside, Jessie approaches Sonia and Maggie, questioning Maggie's intentions while Sonia listens. Sonia, surprised, thinks about her real age compared to Hugh, feeling something is off. Overwhelmed, Sonia reflects on the sudden awkwardness and wishes for assistance. Mel appears cheerfully, calling out to Sonia and offering her treats. Sonia affectionately recognizes Mel's gesture, thinking about how it might make others envious. Mello observes Sonia's unusual behavior, noting her typically different reaction to teasing. Maggie ponders the influences around Sonia, including Hugh, as Jessie listens thoughtfully. Mello invites Hugh and Maggie to a masquerade ball, intending to include everyone. Sonia looks towards Hugh, seen beside Mello, cautiously accepting the invitation. Mello contemplates a new opportunity, noting Sonia's possible interest in Jessie. Sonia marvels at the masquerade setting, admiring the atmosphere. Mello hands Sonia a mask, encouraging her to participate in social activities. At the ball, no one is easily recognizable with masks on, adding to the mystery. An enigmatic figure surprises Sonia from behind, playfully asking her to guess their identity. Confused, Sonia struggles to recognize the masked figure, expressing her bewilderment. Hugh interjects, requesting the person to respect Sonia, recognizing their transgression. Mello comments about Sonia's apparent coldness, masking his concern with humor. Sonia realizes the masked figure is mimicking her, leading to a startling revelation. The person reveals themselves as Miss Fiona, enjoying the confusion they caused. Hugh firmly tells Fiona that her interactions with Sonia are too intimate, asking for discretion. Fiona turns her attention to Hugh, inquiring about his identity as Sir White Hawk. Hugh confirms his identity, asking if there's an issue, maintaining a calm demeanor. Fiona unexpectedly moves closer to Hugh, increasing the tension at the ball. Fiona teasingly dismisses Mello, suggesting younger boys like Hugh are cuter, adding to the tension. Sonia demands respect, asserting her identity beyond just being a princess. Sonia decides to leave with Hugh, urging him to ignore the ongoing banter. Mello and Fiona reflect on their teasing, recognizing Sonia's protective nature towards Hugh. Fiona shifts the topic, wondering aloud where Maggie vanished during the event. Mello is watching over the lively ballroom, focused on a pair ahead, recalling Ansel's request to keep an eye on them. Fiona confidently dismisses any worry about the situation, having gathered plenty of information about the event attendees. A pair of hands clasped tightly, revealing a secret alliance or bond amidst the chaos of the ball. Sonia feels wronged, believing the twins delight in her discomfort as she stands with Hugh. Sonia declares her claim on Hugh to the world, asserting her position with determination. Hugh acknowledges Sonia's statement with a firm admission of belonging. Sonia seeks confirmation from Hugh about his whispered reply, needing clarity on his words. Hugh, contemplating deeply, expresses his intent to show Sonia a special place beyond the ball. Their hands connect once more, symbolizing trust as Hugh leads Sonia to his secret location. With urgency, Hugh guides Sonia quickly, prompting her surprise at his speed. Reaching a serene part of the palace grounds, Sonia marvels at its hidden beauty. Hugh promises Sonia an even more breathtaking view, eager to share the moment. Sonia is enchanted by the scenery, feeling refreshed by the cool breeze surrounding them. Grateful for his thoughtfulness, Sonia thanks Hugh for bringing her to this peaceful spot. Hugh reveals his long-standing desire to show Sonia the fireflies dancing around them. Sonia wonders if this moment signifies a deeper confession from Hugh. Unbeknownst to them, two cloaked figures are engaged in a covert discussion about a palace scheme. Hugh quickly silences Sonia, recognizing the need for stealth as the unknown figures continue talking. The cloaked figures discuss their plans, including a crucial target hidden within a book. They speak of Ansel's cleverness in hiding vital troop deployment information, making their mission critical. The figures hurry away, one urging the other to keep moving to avoid detection. Once they're gone, Sonia reassures Hugh that she understands his caution and appreciates his protection. Sonia questions if the cloaked men are spies from a rival faction, seeking clarity on their intentions. Hugh, uncertain and feeling displaced, admits his lack of knowledge about the situation. Sonia expresses her trust in Hugh, acknowledging him as her protector under the moonlit sky. Determined, Sonia resolves to act against the unfolding threat, despite the looming danger. Hugh is surprised by Sonia's bold decision to head to the library, questioning her resolve. Sonia explains her knowledge about the book's location and her plan to protect it before alerting Jesse. Hugh cautions Sonia against the perilous mission, emphasizing the risk of confronting the spies. Asserting her royal duty, Sonia declares her readiness to defend her empire without hesitation. Hugh stands alone, contemplating his next move. He's resolved to face challenges on his own terms, acknowledging his innocence while planning his path forward. With newfound determination, Hugh decides to join the cause. Ready to protect, he feels the weight of responsibility he's about to shoulder. Sonia feels reassured by Hugh's commitment. She entrusts him with her safety, confident in his promise to protect her. Hugh, in a sign of loyalty and respect, kneels before Sonia, pledging his allegiance to her as his princess. In the dim library, Sonia leads the way, searching for vital information with Hugh lighting their path. They are guided by memories of forgotten customs and ancient knowledge. Sonia reaches for a significant book, confident she's found the key to their quest. The book holds secrets long hidden from others. Discovering Ansel's hidden map within the pages, Sonia plans to discreetly replace it with another document to conceal its absence. She decides to hide the map in a location only known to her and Hugh, surmising that Dr. Lauren is the only other who might uncover it. With their task complete, Hugh instructs Sonia to leave quickly, avoiding any further risk of discovery in the library. Suddenly, a creak alerts them to nearby danger. Hugh quickly strategizes, urging Sonia to hide as they realize they are no longer alone. Seeking refuge, Hugh helps Sonia find a safe spot as shadows emerge in the library, obscured by mysterious figures silently searching the shelves. Sonia clings to Hugh, anxious about their impending escape. Together, they must decide their next steps in the face of uncertainty. A hooded figure in the library searches in vain for the map, growing frustrated with the lack of success. Another figure points out the suspicious absence of dust on one book, realizing something has been altered or taken. They hasten their search. Peering through a crevice, Sonia is shocked to see Maggie among the intruders, a revelation causing a mix of emotions. One of the hooded figures triumphantly claims victory in their search, signaling they've located something or someone important. Light falls upon Sonia and Hugh, exposing them. Sonia's anxiety peaks at the thought of their discovery. Hugh acts quickly, signaling Sonia to remain hidden while he faces the threat head-on, determined to shield her. A menacing figure recognizes Hugh and taunts him, seemingly unperturbed by his presence. Hugh remains composed, suggesting to the intruder to communicate directly if they need anything, subtly implying a deeper connection or past association. Hidden, Sonia questions Hugh's true intentions, torn between trusting his protective stance or fearing betrayal. Sonia grips a small vial tightly, aware that it's her only means of defense should Hugh fail to keep his promise. Maddie confronts Hugh, taunting him with familial ties and suggesting he should be elsewhere, questioning his presence in the library. Hugh dismisses her provocation, deflecting attention back towards Maggie's own questionable activities and potential spying. With a calculating demeanor, Maggie implies that Hugh knows exactly why she's there, suggesting ulterior motives are afoot. Maggie, suspicious of deceit, accuses Hugh of tampering with a book, probing for any slip in his composure. Hugh feigns ignorance, mocking the idea that he could pinpoint one specific book among an entire library of volumes. Maddie tests Hugh's identity, questioning his heritage with an assertive air, alluding to divided loyalties. Hugh counters Maggie's accusations, demanding rationale for past actions that left him abandoned. In a moment of tension, Maggie slaps Hugh, her act a culmination of her rage and disappointment, observed by a stunned Sonia. Maggie stands confidently, issuing orders to her hooded followers. Hugh and Sonia are confronted with her demand to capture someone she refers to as the Canary, emphasizing the gravity of the situation. Sonia is determined and scared, adamant about not dying in the situation she faces. The tension in the air is palpable as she stands her ground. Hugh steps forward with a fierce resolve, warning those around him not to harm Sonia. His protective stance highlights his commitment to her safety. Ansel and Dr. Lauren, inside a room filled with rich decor, discuss a strategy involving a fake map. They consider whether their ploy will deceive Maggie. Dr. Lauren is skeptical yet hopeful, wondering if the bait is enough to trick Maggie. The calculated gamble they are taking becomes clear. Ansel appears confident in Maggie's greed, believing the bait will indeed attract her. His composed demeanor exudes a sense of certainty. Jess commends Ansel, amazed at his ability to concoct such cunning plans, expressing admiration for his strategic mind. Fiona bursts into the room with urgency, alerting Jessie and Ansel that Maggie has been ensnared by their trap, but also notes Sonia's presence at the library. Jessie and Ansel express their shock and concern upon hearing Sonia's involvement, immediately sensing the potential complications. Jessie accuses Mello of neglecting his duty to watch over Sonia, voicing his frustration with an intense glare. Ansel intervenes, urging Jessie to release Mello, emphasizing the critical nature of their current predicament and the need for unity. Jessie and Mello stand in an uneasy silence, the tension momentarily diffused, but their resolve to address the impending crisis unwavering. Fiona, seeking direction from Ansel, questions him about the next actions to safeguard Sonia, hinting at a previous plan involving the library's gate. With contemplative determination, Ansel instructs a shift in their plans, prioritizing the need to rescue Sonia from the library. Amidst the chaos, Sonia pleads with Hugh to stop pushing himself for her sake, hinting at her concern for his well-being. Maggie, amused by the unfolding drama, makes a derisive comment, observing the emotional display before her. Adorned with extravagant jewelry, Maggie reflects on her brother's affection towards Sonia, contemplating her next move. With a malevolent grin, Maggie decides to begin her assault with the Canary, her words dripping with anticipated malice. Hugh and Sonia are confronted by two henchmen instructed to bind Sonia. Help protests with urgency, attempting to halt their actions. Hugh stands defensively against the encroaching enemies, fiercely demanding they retreat, showing his unwavering dedication to protect Sonia. With defiance and desperation, Sonia declares she will cooperate if they stop, her voice a mix of resignation and strategy. Maggie acknowledges Sonia's pragmatism, approving her decision to talk. She instructs her followers to release Sonia, recognizing her previous approach was futile. Sonia internally reassures herself, resolving to feign compliance as part of her plan to eventually gain an advantage and escape. Sonia demands to see Hugh, offering information in exchange for his safety, emphasizing their mutual dependency. Maggie warns Sonia against using emotional leverage, insinuating potential repercussions if her conditions are not met. Sonia asserts her commitment to Hugh as her knight, referencing their shared responsibilities and the honorable traditions of Siland Royal. Maggie reluctantly agrees to Sonia's request, advising her followers to continue their vigilance, wary of potential escapes. Reunited briefly, Hugh questions Sonia's choice to submit to Maggie's demands, seeking to understand her reasoning while expressing concern. Sonia admits feeling helpless but acknowledges her attempts to minimize harm, trying to boost Hugh's confidence as she fights her internal struggles. A tender moment unfolds as Sonia embraces Hugh, calling him by a fond nickname, offering reassurance of his valuable role in her life. Hugh listens attentively to Sonia's whispered instructions, concerned about the hidden primroses near her waist, and considers the implications of their dangerous situation. Maggie waits impatiently, urging her companions to stop wasting time and demanding details about the map they are supposed to find, indicating the pressing nature of their mission. Hugh admits he has a rough idea of the map's location but notes that reaching it might be a challenge due to Sonia's earlier assistance in hiding it. Maggie, irritated by the delay, instructs someone to assist Hugh in retrieving the hidden object, emphasizing the urgency of their task. Ansel, in a formal setting, accuses Maggie of stealing state secrets, imposing a severe charge that raises the stakes for everyone involved. Sonia, shocked and confused, seeks assurance from Jesse and Ansel about the unfolding dramatic events, highlighting her reliance on them. Realizing she's been duped, Maggie, weapon in hand, prepares to confront the consequences, signaling a shift toward confrontation. Prompted by Sonia, Hugh takes decisive action, the gravity of which underscores the tension in the air as objects begin to fall into chaos. An unexpected reaction to their actions causes coughing and confusion, adding to the growing chaos and unpredictability. Amid the panic, Maggie blames Sonia for the chaos, shifting the responsibility for the unfolding events as emotions run high. Danger looms as Sonia receives a warning about an imminent threat, underscoring the peril she faces. With horror, Sonia witnesses something tragic happening to Hugh and reacts instinctively, illustrating the gravity of the situation. Sonia kneels beside Hugh, whose injury is severe, her concern evident as she processes the turn of events. Ansel coldly orders the arrest of Maggie, demonstrating the harsh consequences the group faces in the aftermath of the confrontation. Jesse is instructed to prioritize the safety of Sonia and Hugh, revealing his protective role in the crisis. Jesse supports Sonia, ensuring her safety, and prepares to leave the chaotic environment, demonstrating leadership in the crisis. Maggie accuses Hugh of betrayal, her anger palpable as she processes the outcomes of their confrontation. Ansel plans to personally escort Sonia and Jesse to safety, indicating his dedication to protecting them from further harm. Ansel reflects on his unfamiliarity with the situation, a moment of introspection amidst the chaos, revealing his inner conflict. Jesse, carrying Hugh, seeks assurance from Nello and Mello about Sonia's well-being, emphasizing the urgency of medical intervention. Sonia expresses concern for Hugh, looking to Mello and Nello for assistance, underscoring her dependency on their expertise. Mello, acknowledging the severity of Hugh's injuries, urges haste in transporting him for medical treatment, prioritizing his survival. Jesse reassures Sonia about Ansel's safety and encourages her to return to her room, highlighting his protective instincts. Sonia, lingering after Jess's departure, expresses regret, highlighting her conflicted emotions amid the turmoil. Determined not to abandon Hugh, Sonia resolves to take action, driven by her loyalty and gratitude. Lauren assesses Hugh's injury, noting the difficulty of his task in treating the tricky wound, emphasizing the challenge at hand. Mello pleads with Lauren to save Hugh, demonstrating the collective concern for their fallen comrade. Lauren, preparing for the procedure, instructs the others to remain calm yet vigilant, emphasizing the seriousness of the situation. Sonia, resolved to help, is offered guidance, her determination shining through despite the overwhelming circumstances. Ansel visits Maggie, now imprisoned, questioning her intelligence and reflecting on the consequences of her earlier actions. Dr. Lauren stands confidently with a hint of triumph, revealing to his adversary that the map and news were mere deceptions laid as a trap. Maggie, adorned with golden jewelry, acknowledges the cunning nature of their opponent, her determination unyielding. Dr. Lauren coldly suggests that Maggie, being a royal descendant, should choose the method of her demise, offering her a grim option. Unfazed, Maggie questions whether Dr. Lauren dares to kill her, noting that her death might trigger a war. Dr. Lauren regrets the turn of events, explaining he only intended to capture a spy but was forced into this situation after Sonia's harm. Clearly angered, Dr. Lauren declares a harsh fate for anyone who causes harm to Sonia, emphasizing the gravity of such an act. He reminds Maggie there are multiple ways to die, urging her to select wisely as time is slipping away. Confined and exasperated, Maggie shouts her assessment of the situation, claiming Dr. Lauren and his associates to be insane. With the door creaking ominously, Dr. Lauren leaves the pleading behind, continuing his mission with resolve. Sonia, in a moment of self-doubt, seeks guidance from Dr. Lauren on her next steps, indicating her uncertainty under pressure. Dr. Lauren, occupied with medical duties, reminds Sonia of her role and autonomy in the clinic, encouraging her to proceed independently. Burdened with her task, Sonia rushes to make a hemostatic, revealing her urgency and eagerness to contribute. Hugh lies on a table, visibly in distress. Dr. Lauren hands him a cloth to bite, warning him of the impending pain. Steady and focused, Dr. Lauren prepares to remove the foreign object, instructing Hugh to remain as still as possible. As Sonia brews a concoction, she concentrates on the preparation, ensuring the ingredients are handled with precision for efficacy. Dr. Lauren inspects the extracted item, relieved yet aware of the near miss with vital blood vessels. Hugh sits up cautiously as Dr. Lauren reassures him of their fortunate outcome, now focusing on stopping the bleeding. Having completed her task, Sonia presents the hemostatic, seeking Dr. Lauren's confirmation of her work's validity. Dr. Lauren acknowledges Sonia's efforts, while instructing her to set aside the remainder for future use, emphasizing resourcefulness. Sonia hesitates, asking if she can fulfill another duty before continuing with the task at hand, showing her diligence. Dr. Lauren hands over the necessary tools, allowing Sonia to proceed with her responsibilities as he prioritizes other tasks. Jesse stands authoritatively beside Dr. Lauren, insisting that Maggie provide more information for their investigation. Maggie, bloody and defiant, remains silent under scrutiny, the atmosphere tense with unspoken threats. King, visibly indignant, expresses his anger over the situation concerning Sonia, declaring the need for severe consequences. Under duress, Maggie divulges secrets eagerly, implicating others in espionage, hoping to lessen her doom. Jesse evaluates Maggie's confession, pinpointing the location of their enemy's base while considering further options. King unambiguously decides Maggie's fate, instructing Jesse to attend to the matter of the spy with finality. Jesse responds affirmatively to his father, ready to carry out the order with the expected decorum. Dr. Lauren advises Dr. Lauren, indicating that Maggie is now under their control for their subsequent actions. Resigned to her fate, Maggie requests a swift end from Dr. Lauren, confronting the inevitability of her situation. Dr. Lauren gathers his medical kit, reflecting on the importance of mercy in his practice. Yet he is angered by harm done to his apprentice and patient, feeling the weight of betrayal. Resolute, Dr. Lauren decides against granting a quick death, choosing to face the situation head-on. Hugh awakens, confused, calling out for Sonia as she rests nearby. Sonia greets Hugh with relief, explaining how she watched over him through the night, worried for his recovery. Hugh, questioning his bandaged state, realizes the care and attention he received and wonders about its source. Jesse enters, surprised to see Hugh awake, signaling a turning point in his recovery. Sonia expresses gratitude to Dr. Lauren for returning, acknowledging his role in aiding Hugh. Dr. Lauren comments on the good care Hugh received, suggesting he visit His Majesty since he is now better. Worried, Sonia questions the intentions regarding Hugh, fearing for his fate. Determined, Sonia declares Maggie as the true culprit, insisting Hugh was innocent and cannot be harmed. Dr. Lauren contemplates the situation, considering that if any harm was truly intended by the Emperor, it would have already been done. Despite his summons, Hugh decides to meet His Majesty, while Sonia insists on accompanying him. Sonia assures Hugh that no harm will come to him as long as she is by his side. Hugh, feeling distressed, pleads for help, but Dr. Lauren refuses to get involved in royal matters, prioritizing his safety. The court calls for Sonia and Hugh to appear, marking the beginning of their audience with the royals. Inside the court, King recognizes Sonia, granting her immediate entry as Ansel stands by the door. Sonia whispers a plan to Hugh, intending to charm the king to help Hugh's situation. Hugh marvels at Sonia's protective nature as she greets the king, determined to shield him. The king embraces Sonia, commenting on her long absence since she began her medical studies, curious about her intentions today. Sonia explains her reluctance to meet earlier to avoid injuring the king due to Hugh's involvement, acknowledging he protected her from Maggie. Sonia passionately warns the king against punishing Hugh for Maggie's misdeeds, sternly declaring her resolve not to speak to him otherwise. The king, slightly flustered, questions if Sonia truly finds him unreasonable, showing a more tender side. Hugh reflects on the deep bond between Sonia and the king, realizing the perceived threat of taking her from the king's affections. The king reassures Sonia and Hugh that no punishment will befall him, acknowledging Hugh's protective actions. A white hawk suddenly appears, astonishing Hugh with its symbolism and message. Ansel declares the hawk as a reward, tasking Hugh with the solemn duty of protecting Sonia. Sonia, realizing the king's true intentions, rejoices over the positive outcome for Hugh, lightening the mood. A touching moment unfolds as Sonia reaffirms her father's love, snuggling into his embrace with joy. Sonia and Hugh, filled with gratitude, express their thanks before departing, ready to face what comes next. Sonia is in a hurry, pulling Hugh by the hand as they walk quickly down a grand corridor. The light floods the hallway, casting long shadows behind them. Kane, with a serious expression, questions someone off-screen about the outcomes of a recent encounter, focusing intently on the response. Dr. Lawrence stands in a well-lit room holding a letter. He announces that a message from White Hawk has arrived, informing about the entry of a delegation in West Dukedom and the news of Maggie's death in her own country. Sonia and Hugh observe as a white hawk soars overhead, its feathers glistening in the sunlight. An ethereal message accompanies the bird's flight, indicating Sonia's role in leading toward the light. A shadowy area comes into view, with text instructing to leave the darkness to others, hinting at an unseen presence or force meant to handle ominous tasks.